Hello, class of 2021. I'm Sandy Eisenstadt, chair of the Art History Department at the University of Delaware. And I am here to say, you did it. Congratulations. There's no way around it. The disruption of the COVID pandemic was very real and is very much still with us. It upturned all of our plans, including how we celebrate your great achievements. This is not what any of us had in mind years ago when your time at UD was just beginning. But there is also no denying that you did it through one of the most difficult 16 months in anyone's life, not to mention the years before leading up to this moment. You made your time at UD count. You should take stock of that fact, of all that work, all that learning and growing, and rejoice in your accomplishments and let some well-earned self-esteem wash over you. Because you've done something that will long outlast this moment. You have built an intellectual foundation for the rest of your lives and discovered personal values that'll guide you for many decades to come. And all the friends you made, no microscopic critter can ever take that away from you. Yep, you did it. You put in the time and hard work. You've gotten a degree and have begun to imagine the long arc of a successful and productive career. And that is something to celebrate. I join with your professors, your teaching assistants, your friends, and your family to say to you and your peers, congratulations to the class of 2021.
Welcome, friends, family, faculty, and fellow graduates. I am honored and grateful to be giving this speech, although I wish we could be gathered in person, celebrating this moment together. And so I could look around and see who starts to nod off midway through these remarks. I'd like to begin by congratulating my fellow art history graduates. This is probably not how any of us pictured our senior year or our graduation ceremony. Personally, when I pictured myself graduating in a robe, I didn't imagine that I would have already spent most of my senior year in one, although one that is less formal and more soft and fuzzy bathrobe variety. Who among us, watching a slideshow in old college, could have guessed that soon we'd be attending class from our bedrooms, our dining rooms, our kitchens, and that by graduation, those darkened classrooms would, for a time, feel as different and distant as a semester spent studying abroad. Bruegel's images of the Black Plague don't seem quite as strange now. Living through a pandemic puts some things into perspective, albeit with some pertinent post-medieval additions like reliable plumbing, Wi-Fi, and late-night food delivery apps. Vermeer's continual return to representations of interior spaces, too, feels more relatable. How familiar are we all now with the spaces we almost constantly inhabit? And how often do we try to better understand someone on Zoom by examining their choice of background? I am proud to be graduating with an art history degree, but that doesn't mean I haven't encountered my fair share of misconceptions about the major. For instance, upon learning what I was studying, someone replied with, "Oh, I wish I could look at paintings all day." And, while that is part of what we do here, anyone who thinks this is an easy major should have tried taking a course with Dr. Stone or reading yet another article that finally gets to its main point around page 102. But what I'd most like to say is that art history is, at its core, the study of humanity through its creations. If pressed, you might say that art is not necessary for survival. Food, water, shelter, yes. Art, no. And yet, we make it anyway, all the time, and have since the very beginning. In every era and every place humanity goes, there is human artistic creation also. Art pervades all aspects of our lives and has done so for the generations before us. Art is a constant and active presence in our lives, whether we realize it or not. It takes forms we don't always recognize as art, but studying art history has reframed the way I look at the world. More and more, I see the ways in which humans alter their environment through artistic creation. From textiles and drawings to carvings and paintings, buildings and body art, everyday objects and tools, photographs, furniture, even memes. The expression and intention may vary greatly, but as art historians, our definition of art must be broad. We study something so fundamentally human, it cannot be separated from the human experience. Art is woven into the tapestry of our humanity so inextricably its threads can be difficult to untangle. Art is essentially humanity's mirror, and it reflects back at us all our triumphs, flaws, possibilities, and limitations. This means that art and the history of art are as plagued with faults as the rest of our history, our present, and, if we're being honest, most likely our future. I say this not to discourage or deter you, but to acknowledge the state of the world we are inheriting, the field we are entering, and the work that needs to be done. We all know that much of what has historically been considered art, what has been praised and saved, hung in museums and written about at length, has, for the most part, been created by straight, white, well-to-do cis men, steeped in Western society. I'm looking at you, Pliny the Elder and Vasari. And those determining the course of the field of art history, writing, publishing, teaching, and curating, have been more of the same. But we are changing that, at times quite slowly, so slowly it may almost feel like we're going backwards. But yes, it's changing, and for the better. By better, I mean we are acknowledging and actively working to amplify the voices that have long been oppressed and excluded. Art, in all its many forms, is itself a powerful tool for change. As art historians, it is our job to complicate and question the method and content of the history we are attempting to preserve, the art produced by our society. And in doing so, I believe the methods in which knowledge is acquired and advanced will themselves change, and we are the ones to do it. The phrase oft heard at graduation ceremonies, entering the real world, does not quite ring true. I don't know about you, but the world I've been living in for the last 22 years has felt pretty real. Having spent the most recent years of our life reading books and taking tests and occasionally trudging to class in the rain after pulling an all-nighter, doesn't mean we haven't at the same time been falling in and out of love, marching for our rights, watching loved ones be born or die, making dinner with friends, singing in the shower, learning new languages and instruments, picking up extra shifts at work. In other words, everything that being a person in the world entails. We have been living in the real world. I will admit that most of us are relatively new to the world in terms of decades and experience. We are young art historians, but that is what gives me hope. For history is long and sleeps in the past, but we are new to it, and the stories we tell, the actions we take, the ways we understand and relate our history, and the changes we want to enact are new as well. As art historians, educators, curators, administrators, registrars, conservators, librarians, researchers, or as something else entirely, our art history education means that we have the power over how the past is perceived and interpreted, how the present is experienced, and thus how the future unfolds. My immediate future includes changing back into my sweatpants. Thank you, and congratulations.
Jane Allen. Honors Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Ravi Raj Barua. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Julia G. Chadwick. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Sarah Sullivan Dager. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Allison Nesland. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Pablo Matthew Opperman. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Kimberly Gray Ortega. Honors Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Sarah Emerson Page. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Miriam Helene Rudd. Honors Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Tamara Beth Seeger. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Jennifer Alyssa Sorbello. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Caitlin Stewart. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Eileen Simons. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Bianca Thyrica Tampelam. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Claudia Vanderkloot. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Ashley Ware. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Jasmine Nicole Way. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Gigi Zhang. Bachelor of Arts, Art History. Julia Hamerlight. Master of Arts, Art History. Rochelle Pablo. Master of Arts, Art History. Emily Pekin. Master of Arts, Art History. Alba Campo Rosillo. Doctor of Philosophy, Art History.